What day is it? Oh, we're doing another what if. Can you just give me one more day? Oh, alright, I'm coming. Yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here, and coming out of my cave to give you guys a what if Naruto had the Infinity Stones. And this is gonna be a collab with Oakley. Hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, it's gonna be a collab with him, so part 2 is gonna be on his channel. And of course, what if Deku was Rick Sanchez? That's not going anywhere. Expect that in 1 or 2 days, no promises. Cause I've been procrastinating these what ifs, so 100% my fault. So yeah, hope you guys like this story, and let's get into the what if. Also, one more thing before we start, I have exams coming up next week. So if you guys see a slowdown or probably even a complete stop for a week, like, just know that it's exams, so kind of have to focus up, not trying to fail my exams. So hope you guys understand. Now let's get into the what if. So what's a good story without a equally good or decent backstory? So, you know, cause Infinity, the gauntlet doesn't just show up out of nowhere. So let's give some backstory to it. So we actually start the story off after the events of Avengers Endgame, and Thanos has won. He's achieved his goal. He's erased half the universe's population and was contemplating what to do with the gauntlet next. Still filled with all 5 gems, he thought of destroying it, but decided to send it to another universe where it's needed. So he decides to send it where it's needed. So in a flash of light, the gauntlet disappears and travels through time and space, and it ends up into the Naruto world. And during this time when it appears, this is the time of Hagoromo, and he was right in the middle of his fight with Kaguya when a golden gauntlet appears in front of him. He puts it on and almost dies from the immense power that courses through his body, and Hagoromo unknowingly uses the Power Stone to boost his Susanoo and easily takes down the Ten Tails, chopping its head off, and eventually sealing Kaguya away. So his brother still goes to watch over their mother, their Kaguya seal on the moon, and Black Zetsu still gets created. So, you know, right before the seal was completed. So as we know, Hagoromo went on to have 2 kids, Ashura and Indra. And you know, Hagoromo was contemplating what to do with the gauntlet, because, you know, he thought of just sealing it away because this is really powerful, but this it can be really bad for humanity if it falls into the wrong hand, but can save it if it does fall into the right hands. So Hagoromo decides to give 2 stones to each of his sons, and so knowing of the power of the gems with the gauntlets, because without the gauntlet they're pretty much useless unless you have a means of using it, which they're ninjas, so they can't really develop that technology. So him knowing it's too powerful, he gives 2 gems to each of his sons. Ashura gets the time and mind stone, and Indra gets the reality and space stone. So as time passes on, we know Ashura is the ancestor of the Senju and Uzumaki clan, and Indra being the ancestor of the Uchiha clan. So at this time, the Senju have the time stone, the Uzumaki have the mind stone, and the Uchiha have both reality and space stone. And you know, Hagoromo did something with the gauntlet and the other stone that he had, but I'll get into that. So we finally start the story with Naruto running through the village. Another day of being chased, you know, because he's become more used to this over the years. He's had multiple hiding spots across the village, and he's heading to one now to try to escape this angry mob. So Naruto runs right into the forest of death, and some villagers seeing this, they're like, I don't really know about that one. Like, there's some beasts in there, but the Chunin and the mob rush in after Naruto, and Naruto runs like 50 feet and hides in a hollowed out tree. You know, he even had some snacks in there. You know, he stashed them beforehand because he would usually spend hours in these hiding spots waiting for the mobs to pass. So, he's got to eat. So Naruto is eating his granola bar or whatever, and he sees something reflecting the sun into his eyes. He squints a bit, trying to get a better look at it, and he sees a purple glow. Naruto then hears the Chunin earlier that were chasing him like jump across the branches as they pass, and he waits another 5 minutes to be safe, then focuses back on the glowing rock and starts moving towards it. It was in the middle of an open section of the forest with no trees, and it was barely visible in the soil. So Naruto grabs onto it and pulls with his whole body, and using all the little force he has, it breaks loose, and out came the purple gemstone along with a golden gauntlet attached. So let me explain a bit. This open area, it was actually the grave site of Hagoromo, and I'd say the reason why the Forest of Death has such huge trees and massive beasts is because Hagoromo died there. So his chakra kind of created a little area of, power, I guess you can call it. So Naruto was a bit freaked out by this. This is solid gold. Naruto has never seen this in his life. It looks so beautiful. And he was thinking of all these things, but he finally came to his senses after he felt a wave of power come from the stone, like it was calling him. He slid the oversized gauntlet on, and Naruto's body burst into a purple glow, blowing his shirt off, and the glow coming from his eyes and mouth, kind of like the Avatar state. So as quickly as it came, the power receded back into the gauntlet, and Naruto fell to the ground exhausted. He looked at his hand, and the gauntlet was now fitting his 13-year-old hand perfectly. And it wasn't as massive as before. So Naruto got up holding his head, and it was nighttime by now, and he begins like running towards his house. But what he didn't expect was he ran face first into a tree. He was so fast he couldn't control it. He just wanted to he didn't want it to mean to go so fast. So after getting his head out of the tree, Naruto rubs his head and looks at the gauntlet. The stone was now glowing but slowly faded away. Naruto was confused but managed to get home undetected, and he went to bed completely drained. And while he was sleeping, he had some visions of this lady with white skin, white eyes, and white hair. Her only features not matching the rest was her red lips and third eye on her forehead. Naruto was so confused, but he saw how kind and loving she was, but soon she turned dark and evil. Though he couldn't fully understand it, Naruto could feel the emotions like he was there in person. So Naruto then saw two kids running around, one with long brown hair and the other with shorter brown hair. But as he was about to reach out to the kids calling for them, he wakes up. Naruto lets out a heavy sigh. Then he was a bit confused what that was, but he looked on his hand and the gauntlet was still there. He tried taking off before going to bed, but it was stuck to his arm, kind of like the what's it called, the watch that Ben 10 has, the Omnitrix. Yeah. So Naruto got up and gets ready for school, eating his friggin' rotten milk. So today was actually graduation day. So he walks into class, and it was the usual death stares and side eyes, nothing new. But to the people in the class, Naruto seemed a bit different. For one, he was at least 5 inches taller, and he wasn't as annoying. By now, he would have called out all the people staring at him and declared he would be Hokage. But Naruto was chill. He went to his seat, and while he was waiting for Iruka to come in, Shikamaru was asking Naruto, like, is he good? He seems a bit different. And Naruto's just said, yeah, he's alright, trying to hide the gauntlet on his hand, but Shikamaru caught that the second he walked in. So Iruka finally comes to class, and he announces the start of the graduation exams. He wishes everyone good luck and starts passing out the papers. No, Mizuki reaches Naruto and hands him a paper with a bit of a grin on his face. So this seemed off to Naruto, and he looked closer at the paper, and the question seemed way harder than he was used to. So before the exam started, Naruto raised his hands and Iruka asked, like, what's wrong? Like what's wrong? So Naruto goes up to him with the paper, and Iruka was shocked. He's like, oh, no, Naruto, it seems some of the Jonin papers got into our pile. Sorry about that. So he gives him a new one and tells him to go to his seat, and Naruto turns to see Mizuki biting his lips, like, not in a sexual way, you degenerate, but, you know, in frustration, like, damn, how did he know? So the writing part goes down, and everyone hands in their papers to be graded. So next was the clones. One by one, the students go up and are required to do a minimum of one regular clone, like the one that you can't move or you can't touch. So after a while, it's Naruto's turn, and students begin laughing, knowing Naruto can't even do a single clone. You know, he's failed every time. So Naruto goes up doing a different hand sign than usual, and you know, people were wondering, like, is this guy stupid? So Naruto shouts Shadow Clone Jutsu, and the purple gem begins glowing, and around 100 clones appear around the class. And Iruka, like, he's so amazed. He touches one and sees that it's tangible, and he's freaking out, like, I can actually touch it. But he manages to get out. Well, Naruto, it seems you've been training in secret. Well, try transforming them. And Naruto transforms, you know, all the clones into, like, everyone in the class. He transforms them into their parents. So Sakura sees her mom and dad, and so does all of the Konoha 12 and just everybody else in the class. But the thing is, Sasuke sees his parents and he goes ballistic. He's mad, and he goes up to Naruto and holds him by the collar. He's like, how dare you like treat my parents like this with such disrespect? And Naruto is like, unhand me unless you want to get bodied. Sasuke's like, what did you say to me? And you know, he goes for a punch, but Iruka breaks him up, and he's like, hey, I like that energy. So next we'll be doing sparring. So Sasuke gets a good grin on his face, and all the fangirls are like, yeah, Sasuke. And Sakura especially is like, that's my Sasuke-kun, he can never be beat. So they go outside, and you know, some random matches go on, Kiba versus Shikamaru, stuff like that. But the main event, Naruto versus Sasuke. No, Sasuke is seething in anger right now, and Naruto is just chilling. And at this point, people have been like seeing this golden gauntlet, and you know, they think Naruto is just like being a fool again, and you know, they just think it's a joke, so they don't pay too much mind to it. So as Iruka starts the match, Sasuke runs in and throws a kunai at Naruto, and Iruka is like, whoa, a kunai? Like, this is supposed to be a friendly spar. But you know, he wanted to stop the match, but Naruto just says it's fine, and as the kunai come towards Naruto, he just blocks them with the gauntlet. And you know, Sasuke, thinking he's caught off by this, he goes for an uppercut, but Naruto dodges and backhands him with the golden gauntlet. And Sasuke goes flying and rolls on the ground, and he barely doesn't go to the ring. And Sasuke's like, ugh, how is he so strong? So Sasuke gets up quickly and does a fireball jutsu, and it goes towards Naruto. But Naruto, it's like he can feel the power, like he's used it before. And by the way, those visions he had earlier, it was kind of like a one for all, where you know, you kind of have the experience of the past user. So Naruto, so he was seeing Hagoromo's memories. So Naruto, feeling like he's done this before, the purple gemstone glows, and Naruto, oh, by the way, if you didn't realize, the purple gemstone, that's the power stone. So it glows, and as the fireball comes towards Naruto, he punches it. He punches the fire back at Sasuke, and it burns up Sasuke's clothes, his skin, and everyone's jaw is on the floor. How can you punch fire? Iruka's like, Naruto wins, and all the girls are like, boo, no, there's no way Sasuke lost, boo, Naruto's cheating. And Iruka's like, are you guys blind? He just won fair and square. But yeah, Sasuke gets taken to the hospital, and everyone's like, Shikamaru's like, how? Like, he's so confused. But yeah, so let's switch to Sasuke a bit. Sasuke, he's hurt, his pride hurt. He's sitting in the hospital room all bandaged up, and can I speak? And Sakura's at his side peeling apples or whatever. And before, like, while he was leaving, he saw some of the girls like actually stop cheering for him. Like, they were like, oh, Naruto is kind of strong. I'm just noticing Naruto kind of has some muscles. And Sasuke's like, ugh, he's stealing all my clout. How am I gonna get him back for what he's done? Disrespecting the Uchiha name. I won't stand for it. And, he's in the hospital room, and he looks over at Sakura, who's just peeling her apples. And, he gets a bit of a grin on his face, knowing that Sakura's parents are actually important figures in the village. So he says, hey, Sakura, you want to go on a date? And Sakura didn't even know he was awake, and she was shocked. She was like, so sudden? And Sasuke's like, yeah, I'm just realizing how cute you look. But one thing though, can you tell your parents to report Naruto for me? Like, to the council. And Sakura has heart in her eyes, and a flame builds in her soul, like, this is what Sasuke-kun wants. Well, I'll do it. So after giving Sasuke his apple slices, she goes home and tells her mom, like, mommy, like, Naruto beat up Sasuke. And she's like, what? So that happens. She goes to the council telling them that the demon has grown strong. He's even beaten the Uchiha clan member. And everyone's like, what? And they're whispering to each other. And the civilian council calls for the civilian council calls for a meeting with the Shinobi Council. So Hiruzen is writing papers in his office. He's stretching. He's thinking, oh, I'm getting too old for this. And this Ambu comes in saying, sir, you're being called for the civilian council is calling for a council meeting. And Hiruzen is like, oh, what do they want? So he goes to the council meeting room, and the civilian council are saying, oh, the demon has grown so strong, we need to kill him. And Hiruzen is so over this. And actually everyone in the Shinobi Council is like, this is a good thing. Like, a strong Jinchuriki, this will deter war, this will protect the civilians in the end, and they want to kill Naruto. So they really don't see why they're so mad. So they call for Naruto, and Naruto has been actually testing out the abilities of his gauntlets, because he realized that he just has to focus on a specific task. Kind of like when a Titan transforms, you have to have a certain goal in mind while using the stone. So he just has to think, oh, I want to destroy these trees. So it glows, and he punches the trees, and it disintegrates, like, from the power. So Naruto gets called by Hiruzen to the meeting, and he goes, and he sees all the Shinobi council eyeing him, the civilian council eyeing him down, and he says, yo, grandpa, what do you want? And Sakura's mom stands up. He's like, hey, you don't refer to the Hokage as that. And Hiruzen just raises his hands to Sakura's mom and says, it's fine, he's just a kid, you don't have to be so, I don't want to say it, but you don't have to come off so strong. So she sits down, like, gritting her teeth, and Hiruzen explains that how did Naruto become the Rookie of the Year, and Naruto just says he's been training. And the civilian council are like, oh, the demon has been training, we can't let him get any stronger. And they say this to Hiruzen, and he says, and as he was about to say something, Naruto butts in. And Naruto butts in. He says, hey, watch who you're talking to. I'm the heir of the Uzumaki clan. And Hiruzen is like, heir? Who told him that? And the civilian council says, shut up, a demon like you can never be an heir to any clan. And he says, do you even know who my father is? And Sakura's mom is like, I don't care, it's just some lowlife. And, Hiruzen is like, whoa, Naruto, like, where did you get all of this? Like, he's just saying that in his head. And, Naruto, has had enough of the civilian council. And Sakura's mom is just cussing Naruto out, calling him a demon, calling anyone who associates with him a demon. And, everyone's on the council meeting is like, yo, somebody come get her. Even some of the civilian councils are like, yo, you can kind of chill now. Like, you're kind of making us look bad. But yeah, so Naruto has had enough of the civilian council. And he says, oh, so does that mean the first Hokage was a demon? And Sakura's mom is like, what are you talking about? Shut up. The first Hokage was a god. And, Naruto says, well, his wife was the holder of the Nine Tails. Like, his wife was the holder of the Nine Tails. And, Sakura's mom is like, what? And he's like, yeah, so Minato was a demon. His wife was the holder of a Nine Tails. Mito Uzumaki, the person who saved the village by holding Nine Tails, she's a demon. And, Sakura's mom starts choking on her word, and he's like, no, well, I never said that. You're the demon. And Hiruzen is like, yo, Naruto is kind of 200 IQ right now. And he gets on, he's like, oh, you're calling the first Hokage a demon? And because I would say, I don't know, did the first Hokage, was he alive when Sarutobi was around? I really don't know, but I'll say the first Hokage, I'm not sure the exact timeline, but I'll say, the first Hokage was really old when Hiruzen was like a genin or something. So I would say he kind of taught him some stuff. So he's like, oh, so you're calling my master a demon? And you're calling my student a demon? Like, talking about Minato. And she's like, well, I never said that. And he's like, all right, I've had enough of this. The meeting is over. And Hiruzen is like, you're lucky I don't kick you off the civilian council for calling, the first Hokage and fourth Hokage demons. And, Sakura's mom sits back down and is like, I never meant it like that. And he's like, shut up. This meeting is adjourned. Naruto, you can go back to whatever you're doing. I just thought that scene would be funny to add. So, yeah, there's that. And, yeah, I feel like that's a good place to stop, maybe. So, no, I'm not going to end it here. Let me set it up properly for a plea. Yeah, let me set it up properly for him. So I'm not just, because right now I'm just having fun, to be honest. So, yeah. So I'd say 2 days after that meeting, during this time, Sasuke is recovering in the hospital, and Sakura goes back to Sasuke like, it didn't work, and she's explaining how her mom is now, she's on thin ice. She can't call for any meetings, and she just basically can't talk at any meetings anymore. She's just there to be a pretty face, I guess. So Sasuke, he's cursing Naruto, and 2 days go by and he's out of the hospital now, and everyone regroups back at the academy to be assigned their teams. So the usual assignments go, and he starts calling the names. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto's like, okay, let's see who I got. And Naruto... And also, by the way, Naruto is sitting next to Hinata. So, I'll say, yeah, during this time, Naruto has been sitting next to Hinata. And she isn't as shy around him. She's okay. Yeah, she's okay, Naruto. So, she isn't as shy. So, he would like her to be on his team. So, he's like, Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki. And Naruto is like, and he's like, oh, wait, sorry. Sakura Haruno. And Naruto's like, so Naruto's like, no, I have that bitch on my team. And so Naruto's cursing himself, and next is he says Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto is like, great. does the Hokage not love me? Because, you know, the Hokage picked the teams. So that goes up. Everyone's sensei comes along, and no, it's just Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura left in the room. And they're just chilling, like all of them at different parts of the classroom. But Sakura, you know, trying to make small talk with Sasuke. But Sasuke is just staring Naruto down. And Sakura seeing this like, no, I can't make Sasuke become gay for Naruto. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. No, I like, she's like, oh, Sasuke wants Naruto like in the ground. Well, I'll show him. So she walks up to Naruto and she's like, hey, you, what are you doing? And right now, Naruto is just like, has his head down. He's going through some of the visions he's seen, you know, trying to piece together more information. And he's interrupted by this pink-haired girl, and Naruto looks up and says, what do you want? And she's like, you're disturbing my Sasuke. And, you know, Naruto says that's his problem, and she's like, what? And, you know, she goes to slap Naruto, but he grabs her hand and backhands her. And you know how the seats are like on a incline? So when he backhands her, she falls down the stairs back down to Sasuke's desk. And, you know, Sasuke is looking down at her like, yeah, that wasn't me. So, you know, as this is happening, Kakashi walks in and he sees Sakura fly down the class and sees Naruto who backhanded her, and he's like, great. So he tells them to meet them at the roof, and Sakura's like, aren't you gonna help me? And, you know, he just body flickers away, and he's like, and, you know, Sakura's like, that damn sensei, or damn sensei. So they go to the roof, and when Kakashi body flickered to the roof, you know, he walked over and he sits down, and when he turns around, he sees Naruto, and he's so confused, like, how did he get here? And he was going to ask, but then the door comes like banging open, and he sees Sasuke like out of breath, like, I'm the first one here. That damn Naruto won't ever beat me. And he looks over and sees Naruto sits down, and Naruto is like, yo. It's like, how did you get up here? And, you know, Sakura, she's dying, like she's crawling up the stairs like, Sasuke, don't run so fast. So they all get up to the stairs, and, you know, the usual thing goes down. He asks, what are your name, your likes, dislikes, and goals? Everything goes the same. Sasuke has a bit of, I want to, you know, kill and defeat someone, you know, kind of sort of glancing at Naruto. And Kakashi's like, a rivalry, okay. I mean, that strengthens both parties. You know, that pushes people to be better than one another. And Sakura goes, she's like, oh, I want to be married to someone. And Kakashi face palms like, we have another one. And, you know, she also says, and I want to take down a certain someone. And she glances at Naruto, and Kakashi sort of laughs, you know, knowing that she's not going to do anything, but more power to you. And, you know, Naruto goes, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen, training. I dislike weak people. And my goal's to be the strongest shinobi in the ninja world. And Kakashi's like, strongest shinobi in the ninja? Bro, you probably won't live past 15, but strongest ninja in the ninja. Bro, people die out here. It's real out here. I'm kidding. But yeah, he's like, strongest. Okay, sure. So that goes that. Also, sorry guys, I'm having way too much fun making this. Sorry about that again, but yeah. So he's like, okay, all right, sure. Well, he explains that he'll be having a bell test. He doesn't say bell test, but he says they'll be having a test to prove that they can become genin, and to meet him at the training grounds tomorrow at 10. I don't know why I'm specific, but yeah, meet him at the training grounds tomorrow at 10, and don't be late, and don't eat. So everyone goes about their day, and let me leave I'll play something to do. So Naruto is walking towards the ramen shop, and he sees Hinata outside the ramen shop, because as I said, they're pretty chill with each other in this. So because Hinata knows that Naruto goes to the ramen place, and if we know from Boruto, Hinata can eat. So they go to the ramen place, Naruto sees her, and they wave and go in for a few bowls. So as they're walking back to Naruto's home, I would say it's getting a bit cold. I don't know, winter months, I guess. I just want to set the scene, okay? A cold breeze came through and Hinata starts shivering, and Naruto takes off his jacket, which is like fully black. The orange and black colors, they're reversed, so it's more black than orange. So he takes it off and covers it over Hinata. And Hinata looks into Naruto's eyes, and he looks into her eyes, and their eyes meet, and Naruto leans in, and then that's where I'm going to be leaving this one off. Thank you guys for sticking to the end of the What If. If you want to see part 2, check out Upply. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Go subscribe and make sure you have notifications on so you know when part 2 drops. And yeah, if you like the video, like my content in general, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.